we doing?
It's December 29th, and 28 years ago on this day, I was hyperventilating before a wedding.
And I didn't hyperventilate until after the wedding.
We're heading to what is in the summer the #1 tourist destination in Michigan, Mackinac Island.
Let's take a look behind the curtain and see what Mackinac Island has in store during the off-season.
Happy anniversary, Poppins.
Happy anniversary, Chuck.
So off the dock and a short walk to our accommodations. We're staying at the aptly named Mackinac House. See what's going on. We got the basement of the Mackinac House.
Awesome.
Suite #1. You can see a great view of the light ladder that goes up to daylight. We got a kitchenette,
It's very nice.
TV. Snacks are upstairs.
This is Main Street at Mackinac Island. I can't even believe how quiet it is in the off-season. Let's go check out more places to visit.
What are you doing, Poppins?
Looking for I'm looking for Uper lights by shining a black light.
And the noisiest thing on the island are the flagpole lines clanking against the pole. An occasional biker and occasional small crowds of people.
Oh, look, the
But
Grinch.
the Grinch lives here. So you gotta have dinner in the Mustang Lounge. It originated in 1780 as a fur trading warehouse, and it was remodeled in 2008, but they used the original timbers, which is pretty darn cool, making it the most historic tavern in Michigan, is their claim. And they also have quite a collection of first responders.
We got ketchup, mustard, mayo, napkins right here. I brought you a knife so we can cut her.
All right, thank you, sir. Since it's our anniversary,
We're splitting our dinner.
it's the morning after anniversary. Special feelings, Scrabble playing, all kinds of cute little things that we did throughout the day. And now we're headed for to meet Chad, the pirate hunter who gives walking tours on Mackinac Island. So it should be
Footage.
kind of fun. And there you have it, the ambiance of Mackinac Island.
You are. You're on time.
All right, let's go to the Mustang. That is actually a kit home from Sears and Roebuck. You used to be able to,
Good morning.
I'm Jacob Astor. He was America's first self-made millionaire, supposedly. Problem is, he didn't do it, his son did. He was afraid of getting killed by the Indians and drowning, so like a responsible parent, he sent his only child.
If you ever get the chance, get a walking tour with this guy. Chad Bennett has spent many years working and living on the island. He's like getting a tour from that crazy friend that knows a curiously huge amount of information about something he loves. Chad has a convincing knowledge that would cause him to walk and talk about the island for 2 weeks straight, only stopping to take a breath or chat with every island resident that rides by. Right now you can find him on Facebook under Chad's Wonderful Walking Tour. He posts available slots on the page and answers right away if you have any questions. Poppins and I spent a couple hours with him on tour, and it's too bad we couldn't spend the day with him.
Good morning.
It's early New Year's Eve morning, and we're gonna head out and check some stuff out in the island. Getting an early start on the Trans-Mackinac Island expedition.
Here we go.
It's very quiet this morning, with the only vehicle out is the police truck. So we're gonna head up to Harrisonville, where half of the permanent residents from the island live, and then we're gonna get over to British Landing eventually and talk about those things. So, you excited, Poppins?
Yep, a couple miles, we got this. You'll notice that winter is construction season here on the island. So yesterday, our tour guide Chad explained that the native people who lived along the shoreline were moved uphill inland by the Grand Hotel. The Grand Hotel people didn't think it was conducive to have a lot of people living in front of their big structure.
Where wealthy people came to stay. And now Harrisonville is where most, well, half of the year-round residents stay, and also housing for the seasonal workers that come. And then throughout the island, hung in different trees for years at a time, I guess, are fly traps because, you know, horses, poop, and flies. So this is Harrisonville. Kind of modern housing structures, the kind of neighborhood you would expect anywhere. No Victorian era style.
According to Chad, there's 450 year-round residents and 49 students at the K through 12 school.
The Harrisonville General Store, where the permanent residents can come and get their goods up here on the hill.
Here at the far end of Harrisonville, they have a substation, a police substation.
It's a tiny place. And just past Harrisonville, in the middle of the island, is the airport, where you can fly your plane. Some private charters land here. See the taxiway and the runway. And it was built on a dump.
Yes, in 1902 and 1913, the map showed that this had been a dump. In 1934, a grass runway was created over the dump. Then in 2011, there were sinkholes and even a bump in the middle of the runway, so they had to repave it, and they took that opportunity to do an archaeological dig, and they found all sorts of things from the Grand Hotel: porcelain, glass lamps, light bulbs. In 1911, there had been electricity brought to the Grand Hotel, and so there were all sorts of oil lamps found in this dump.
And a windy place to land with a lot of crosswind, but today if you landed from that direction you'd have lots of headwind. We were just on British Landing Road, and we'll go there in a little bit, the British Landing. So we're gonna go along the airport for a little while, then we're gonna head into the woods. So we're heading to the Cave of the Woods and Cracking the Island. And to get there, you follow the airport property here along a trail until it moves into the woods. So still in view of the airport terminal, you come to the Cracking the Island, which is a crack or a fissure caused by the erosion of rock from the middle, both underneath and on the surface. And then eventually, as that rock erodes, the softer rock, it leaves the harder limestone on either side, creating a crack in the earth that you can kind of walk through if you're skinny. So we'll see what happens. If I get stuck, Poppin', send help. So for our anniversary, I got the earth to hug Poppins and I.
Aww.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a tight fit.
So legend has it that the Great Spirit stomped his foot when the Europeans came to this land, and that's how the crack happened.
So about 10,000 years ago, over half of Mackinac Island was actually underwater. And the wave action from when it was underwater here at the high point on the island actually caused erosion of sea caves. And this is actually a sea cave at a high spot in the island. And Mackinac got its name from a turtle called Mackinac. And this turtle was hanging around, and the Great Spirit said, hey, if anyone could go down and get soil from the bottom of the sea and bring it up and put it on the turtle's back, I can form an island that all of you animals can rest on. So the otter went down, the beaver went down, the mink went down, and they couldn't get to the bottom to get the soil. But finally the muskrat got down there, and he grabbed some soil, he brought it up, and he put it on the shell of Mackinac. That formed Mackinac Island. And of course, hearing that as Europeans, they kind of made the name Mackinac, but the French put a C on it. And those that pronounce it Mackinac, everyone looks at them with an eye of suspicion, because no matter how it's spelled, it's Mackinac. Kind of a nice little hike though, to get you away from all the hubbub and horse poop. Poppins is sporting the latest in Restless Viking fashion with a never-ending backpack, which you can find restless-viking.com store. And if I remember, I'll throw a link below in the description. So British Landing Road is named after British Landing. And British Landing is named because that's where the British landed during the War of 1812 to take over Fort Mackinac. So they came from the other side of the island. And I don't know, there probably was a trail here at some time. They hiked their way to the highest point where Fort Holmes is today. And then they fired a couple shots on the fort, and the fort said, we give up. They didn't actually know that there was a war at the time. The British did, but they didn't know because they hadn't gotten word yet.
The fort.
The fort hadn't gotten word yet. So we're heading to where the British landed. That was a Mackinac moment brought to you courtesy the Viking and Poppins. Now we're coming up on British Landing. And there's like a little restaurant, fast food place here. It's the Cannonball. They serve like kind of a fast food. And when you do your circumnavigation of the island by bike, you can stop here for a snack and have a little picnic out here. And of course, in the winter off season, the picnic area belongs to you most of the time. It's the lesser known freight dock on the island.
So in 1833, Mary Biddle, an 8-year-old, had been trying to traverse the ice here to St. Ignace, and she fell through the ice and perished. Her father then came up with the great idea of islanders bringing their Christmas trees here. So Edward Biddle had the islanders place their Christmas trees every 10th of a mile, marking the pathway across to St. Ignace. You can see how it can be difficult to see once you're out there, especially in a blizzard. So by having the Christmas trees there, it marked the path for everyone. And they still do that today.
And now we're going to head down a highway, a Michigan highway called Highway M185. And it did belong to the Michigan Park System's first. Mackinac Island was a national park. Then it became a state park. And the Park Service used to take care of this road, but because of budgets and because of the high cost of maintenance, because it's so close to the water, they had MDOT, the Michigan Department of Transportation, take over the only state highway where you can't have cars. So if you're a mom, you know how difficult it is to get your kids to stop looking for rocks at a beach because you got to move down the highway. In the summertime, when you come out here, there's a lot of bikes and walkers on this road and pedestrians. But in the wintertime, it's almost like it's an abandoned road somewhere in the deep woods of Pennsylvania or something. Yeah, it's up there. Okay, so there's a lot of drunk people laughing at each other. And the turtle is suspended from the hotel.
He's blinking.
He's blinking purple and green.
Excitement.
And that's the dude that's gonna hit the pavement at midnight.
He's not, you hit the pavement. He's not going to.
Poppins has been drinking, obviously. So, here on Mackinac Island, at midnight, that blinking purple and green turtle is going to come down and hit the pavement.
Sir, I heard that the turtle's name is Norton. How did that happen?
So the lady who built the turtle, her name is Anne DeMay.
Oh, okay.
They were vacationing in the Galapagos Islands, and they were like doing the turtle watch. They found a turtle that was named Norton there. That was many years ago. So when they built the turtle for us here, they wanted to name him Norton in honor of their friend in the Galapagos.
Thank you for the story.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're very welcome.
I'm Martha. Nice to
I'm Bart.
meet you.
Very nice to meet
Bart,
you too. Yes,
great
Bart.
to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Would
sorry.
you like a Norton hat?
I would be honored.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I have a Norton hat. I have a Norton hat.
He looks very optimistic about the new year.